So today we're actually going to do some expressions, so
Ah, fun.
it should be fun. We're also going to do a bit more hiragana practice, and then on next Friday, we're going to do we're going to be doing katakana then. But I have some more um, interesting stuff to add to the class as well. So we're not just doing that. And then after that, when we go into the final round of katakana, then we're going to start learning expressions at the same time we're learning the katakana. So
Hmm.
it should be good.
Sounds good.
I just got next lesson fully finalized and ready to go. So
Down here.
we'll just wait.
I did study, not as much as I'd like, but I did. I had a last minute proposal application dropped in my lap with like 3 days to do it.
Oh God.
Like, no. So I spent my nights doing that.
Well, it's okay. Like I was saying before, last time, I'm gonna ask you basically to identify 8 hiragana out of the list of I think 25 that I showed you the last time.
Yep.
$30. We went all the way up to Ha last time.
30. Okay, then it's 8 of 30.
I thought we didn't actually properly do half, but I could be wrong.
I don't think
No,
we
because I
did.
remember. I thought we went over Fu. That's why.
Well, that was at the beginning when we were going through really weird
Ah,
things.
okay.
Yeah, because
Okay, so
in the very beginning we went over all of the sounds that they all make. We just
That's
didn't go
right.
through drawing all of them.
got it.
As a matter of fact, I think the Hahihou is the what we're going to start learning today.
Right.
Yeah.
One second. I got a piece of scrap paper.
All right, we'll wait for Lavitz to get back, and then we'll get started on this right away.
I'm back.
Fantastic. Let's burn the tires and light the fires.
82 miles per hour. No.
All right. So, hello and welcome again to our Friday night Japanese lesson. I'm joined by Lavitz and I Am Nice, and we're going to get started here with the second class. So, hold on just a second. Here we go. So, what? Let's see. Get this here. All right. So, today you're also going to need something to draw on and something to draw with. So, make sure you've got pen, paper, or tablet, or you've got some pen, pencil, crayon, blood of your enemy. It all works. And we did phonetics last time, and you guys remembered how we how the vowels were different than your English vowels. We went over how they sounded like Latin vowels. So you have a, e, o, u. And the Japanese vowels follow the same system as the Latin vowels. And there are the Japanese vowels there for the a, e, u, a, o. All right. So last time we did hiragana. So we went over what is it? I think we stopped here because I did half and half like that. So we did these half beforehand. So now we're going to do a quiz. And on this quiz, I'm going to ask you to identify 8 different hiragana. So let's go ahead and take a look. All right? All right. Can either of you tell me which one this is? If you know, just say, I know.
I know.
I am nice?
That's eh.
Very good. Very good. All right, Lavitz, you get the next one. So this is A.
You want to start with the I know still?
Sure.
I know.
So do I.
Okay, what's
Sue.
this, Lavitz? Yep, that's right. This is Sue. All right. I'm nice. Do you guys both know this one?
I know.
I think I know.
All right. Well, go ahead and let's see if you know this one.
Is that Sa?
Ah, so close.
That is nah.
I know it's one of the A ones.
Yep. Yep. It is na.
Oh, the next one. No.
Yeah.
So this
Saw
one's
is
a little
a single
strange. This one's
character.
a strange looking one because it's got like like stuff all over the place. So the best way to remember this is go, Nani?
Okay, that's a good. Yep.
Do you know this one?
I know.
I always get this one mixed up with the other one that looks kind of like this one.
Okay. Go ahead.
You want to have her go in?
No, why don't you go ahead, Lavitz?
That's knee.
That's right. So, as a joke, I put na and ni right next to each other.
Yeah. Once you learn the what's it called? The numbers, that one becomes a little easier because it's got the Japanese knee in it, or Japanese 2 in it.
Right, yeah,
Not
because
quite, but-
like this here, this is ni in Japanese. Like this mark right here.
Mhm.
So. All right, let's see the next one. How about this one? Do you know this one?
I know.
I know that one too.
What is it?
Ku.
That is correct. It is correct. All right, let's do the next one here. What's this one? Do you know?
I know.
I know as well.
All right.
That one is chi.
That is chi. And how about this one?
I know.
I know this one as well.
What is it?
This is the one I got wrong, isn't it?
What is it?
This is Sa.
That is correct. All right. So, and what's this
weird.
one?
I know.
I know that one as well.
That's no.
That is no. It's the only hiragana that Mugen knows from Samurai Champloo. All right, so we're gonna go over some different phrases here. As you guys might already know these ones here, and I just realized that my picture is covering up part of my image here is covering up part of this here. So I'm
Oh,
just
that's
trying-
weird. All of our reference material uses a different saw.
Really?
Well, yeah. Yeah, it looks more like a backwards chi
Yeah.
in all the reference material.
All right. Well, we'll just keep using this one here.
That's fine.
It should be okay.
I'm like, that is saw, but it looks like different from all the other ones we've been using.
So the first one we're going to go over is Ohio. And it's literally pronounced the same way as the state Ohio. So if you just say Ohio, you'll say it right.
Ohio.
Ohio.
Right. So Ohio is basically good morning. And the next one is Ohayou Gozaimasu.
Ohayou Gozaimasu.
Ohayou Gozaimasu.
Very good. So Ohayou Gozaimasu is actually really funny culturally speaking. You can say it at any time during the day, and it's it's like a 100% polite way to greet somebody the first time you see them. So even if you are working an overnight shift and it is the middle of the night and your boss comes in and you see your boss for the first time, you say Ohayou Gozaimasu.
Weird. Is there a reason for that?
It's a sign of respect. It's the
Okay.
most polite greeting out of all the greetings you can possibly do, and politeness is key in Japan.
Yeah.
So like even when I used to work at a small eikaiwa, or like an English language school, and sometimes I'd finish work at like 4 o'clock, and then I'd drive all the way to the city that I was working in, and I'd get to work and it'd be like 6 o'clock. It'd be the winter time. The sun is down, and I'd walk in the door, and the boss there would be expecting us to say "Ohayou Gozaimasu" to him.
Interesting. The more you know.
Yep. So next, everyone probably knows this one from somewhere, some way or another, is Konichiwa.
Konnichiwa.
Konichiwa.
And Konichiwa, interestingly enough, is not like good afternoon. It is basically used like they're used interchangeably, but Konichiwa, you can actually start saying it around 9:30, 10 o'clock. And then it goes until about 5, 6 o'clock.
So it's more of like just throughout the day, like you're no longer eating breakfast or
So it's more like
or waking up or getting ready or anything like that. It's more like when work starts.
right.
kind of
The best way to describe it is Ohayou Gozaimasu is good morning, and the first initial greeting, and Konnichiwa is the what is it? Is like saying good day to somebody instead of saying what is it? Good afternoon. But Konnichiwa and good afternoon are so close in time that people just use them interchangeably. And last one. So we did good morning, good afternoon. Can you guess what the next one is?
Konbanwa.
Good evening.
Very good.
And, yep. Konbanwa.
Konbanwa. Very good. And so this is good evening. And usually you say this when the sun is starting to set. So if it is, well, Japan doesn't follow like daylight savings time or anything like that. So usually around 7 o'clock it's starting to get pretty dark. So even at like, what is it, about 6 o'clock you can start saying this. But before that it's always Konichiwa. And then the next one here, and this one is Goodnight. And it is Oyasumi Nasai.
Oyasumi nasai.
Oyasumi nasai.
And Oyasumi Nasai can mean good night, or it could be what you say to somebody when they say that they're going to bed. So it's like have a good sleep at the same time. But the kanji for it, the oyasumi, means to rest. So that's why I have a giant picture of Kabigon. Or Kabigon. Or, sorry, Snorlax.
Snorlax.
All right. These two you probably know very well. One is one is arigato,
Arigato.
Arigato.
and then there's arigatou gozaimasu.
Arigatou gozaimasu.
Arigatou Gozaimasu.
And one thing you'll learn as you go further in like Japanese is that the longer a sentence becomes, the more polite the sentence is. And the more polite the sentence is, the more, what is it, favor you curry from somebody that is in social stature maybe above you or at the same level. So like if you were talking to a friend, you would just say arigato. If you were talking to your boss or you were talking to maybe someone you didn't know very well, you would say Arigatou Gozaimasu. And I think I put arigato instead of arigato on that bottom one there.
Yeah.
All right, let me. Hey, look, now I spelled it right. So, anyway, gozaimasu is basically the super polite form of Japanese called keigo. And it all it is basically super polite language. So Japan has what is it? 3 levels of politeness in language, and the third most polite level has 2 different levels to it. Or 2 different areas to it, I should say. So you have the informal, then you have formal, and then you have hyper formal honorific, and then hyper formal humble. So there's certain words that you would say that you are in essence using language to praise somebody above you, and then there's a set of language that you use to humble what you are doing in front of somebody.
Gotcha.
So we're going to start at the mid-level, and then we're going to work towards the informal, and then we'll be, later, way later on, we'll move towards the super formal. All right, so let's move on to the next one here. And Sumimasen.
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 Yep. So this is basically an I'm sorry. It can be an excuse me. It's just a polite way of saying that either you are in the way, you've done something wrong, or even if you would just like to get by. So if you're in a grocery store and there are like 2 people that have 2 carts that are literally blocking the aisle, and you were just to say sumimasen, then that's basically just saying please let me by in a very polite way. And being indirect, and then
It's excuse me, and excuse me is the biggest one, or is the biggest comparison. Yeah.
right. But it can also mean I'm sorry. So if you knock somebody's drink out of their hand or whatnot, you would say sumimasen as well. And this one is the more polite version. If you know like the word like gomen or gomen nasai, those are the impolite form.
Gotcha.
Sumimasen is the polite form. And then the next one is iie. So
Yeah.
and iie can either mean no or no problem. So if you drop something out of someone's hand and you say sumimasen and it's not a problem for them, they'll just say iie.
I got so confused because I read EA on the bottom as lie, and I'm like, oh.
I was like, is that an I or an L?
And then he went EA, and I'm like, wait a minute.
Well, you guys did learn the hiragana, right?
Yes.
Yeah, no, I did see that. And then
My eye naturally drifts towards English is the issue.
Yeah. All right. So now we're going to switch over and start drawing our characters like we were doing before. And we're going to go over the Hahihou, Mami Mume Mo, Ya Yu Yo, and Ra Di Du De Do, and Wa O and N. All right.
Wow.
So let's work on the Hahihou. So let's get our drawing materials out. And we'll start with Ha. And there we go. Just a little bit bigger here. Okay. So before we did Ni, and we did K, and now we are going to do Ha. So like the other ones, you start with this here, like that. Go straight down and flick up. Draw a line across. And try and get these two to match in height. Right here. And bring this down and loop. And that's ha. I'm going to do this one more time so you can see. There's ha. All right. Now let's move on to the next one, which is he. And this one's basically like a horseshoe. So 1, 2, 3. There we go.
And it needs to be slanty.
A little bit. See, if you look here, it's a little bit slanty.
Oh, yeah.
Like that. So if you think of like, what is it? Think of like the cheesy, like Mr. Happy.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking of.
Like that.
The
And
tongue cheek smiley face. Yeah.
yes, and that's basically how you create he. So you don't have to worry about it being like super long or like being super short, just as long as you get both of these here. It's close enough. So that's he. So the next one we're going to do fu. Now, this one here, we can try it. It's a little difficult, and I can show you an easier one. So I'm going to show you both of them. And both of them work regardless. But usually when you type, you're going to see this one more often than you see the other one. But if you draw either one of them, both of them are okay. So I don't use this one very often, so I might have to go back and look at it. So you do a hook, do this, and that, if I'm not mistaken. Yep, that's right.
That's the easy one, right?
This is the hard one.
That's the hard one.
This is the hard one. Because a lot of times people will get it like this, and then they'll do this, and it's close, but... So you need to come down, hook, like that for fu, and then this is the easy way.
That one I recognize.
So it's like, what is it? So, and
But
then
yeah,
2 marks. So you can.
that's much easier.
Yep, you can do this one here like that. Or you can do this one here, or just like that. That one's the easier one. Okay. So next one we're going to do hey, and it's pretty easy. It's, you remember how ku went like this? This one is basically a short line and a long line. It's a one short line and one long line. Now you're supposed to do it like this here, but I've been I've been going like this. The teachers go like this. The students go like this. Like everybody does it that way. It's kind of like, you know, like you take in those drawing classes where you have people be like, all right, now make the A with the circle and then put a line through it to make an A sort of thing. And everyone's like, no, you just do this. Or something. It's the same thing with this one here. All right, so let's take a look at the next one here. Next one we got ho. So we did ni. We did K. We did ha. And now we're doing ho. So you do the same line down like you did with all the other ones, except for this one's just like ha, except for there's a line at the very top. And a thing to remember with this one here is you don't want to go over. You want to start here and go like that. So make sure you try not to go over the top. If you're a little short, that's better than going over.
Okay. They really don't like variety, do they? There's so many that look really similar.
Well, see, you're forgetting there's the whole, what's it called? Kanji system. So.
I know, but still. Like when you compare it to the alphabet, though.
Yeah. This one here. We got our next one. So we're doing our next list here, and this is the Mami Mumemo. All right. So you remember when we were doing ho like this, how I told you not to go over the top? Well, there's a reason.
Then it becomes
yeah, because if I erase this here, let me make that a little bit bigger. Like this. We have just made ma. So ma is 2 lines and a loop, just like that. And try this again. 2 lines and a loop. Now usually you want to keep the lines closer together near the top and bring it down like that. The distance between here and here should roughly be the distance between here and here. Roughly. And the distance between like here and here should be about from here to here. So you want this part here to line up with that part there. But it gets a little difficult because you have to start here. Oh, change this a little bit. Oto mo chisaku shite kudasai. もうちょっとお願いします。All right, so that is ma. So next we're going to work on mi, and this one is a little fun. So you come here, and you bring it down, and you loop, and you put a little tail through it. So you start, bring it down, and loop with the tail. Down, loop, and a little tail. And this one is me. Bring it down, loop, and a tail. All right. So next we're going to do mu. did this wrong already. Just like that. So it's kind of like Sue.
Mhm.
You bring it down just like you would Sue, except where you come out, you flick up, and you put a mark between.
You curve the opposite direction
Yes.
at the bottom of it.
Yep. And this one here is moo. Which is really funny because moo is there's the kanji for it basically means nothing. And if someone says that they are like moo, that means that they just have like a complete nothingness expression on them.
Okay.
So like someone that's like completely zoned out is in a state of moo.
So I'm guessing they don't have moo moo cows because that would be nothing cows.
Actually, cows, the sound the sound a cow makes, or in Japanese the nakikoi, the animal sound. The nakikoi for it is mo.
Oh, okay.
It's spelled the same, but just pronounced differently.
Right, yeah, pretty much. It's spelled the same but pronounced differently. So, and we're going to be learning that one. May is next. And do you guys remember new? We did new the last time here. Well, this one looks exactly like new without that final loop. So this one is May.
That one looks so similar.
Oh, it is. There's a bunch of them
that little cute. Yeah.
There's a bunch of them that are super similar like this.
So let's say like you're a beginner and you're trying to like write things out and you accidentally switch to up. Like, how big of a problem is that? Would someone that's experienced be able to kind of guess what you were trying to do?
Yeah, like the Japanese teachers I had. Yeah, you meant to say May, right? And they were like, yeah, that's not May. No, that's new. There's actually a TV show here in Japan called Pitakura Switch, and they have this whole bit on there. It's like educational TV, and there's this whole bit that they have on there where they're saying that it's a song called "Is It May? Is It New?" and it's basically they're like slowly drawing it out, and then at the very end they do it really fast, and then they say its name. So the song is like May or New, May or New, May or New, and it's Meika Nuka, Meika Nuka, Meika Nuka, Meika Nuka, Meika Nuka, like that. And then it's like I'll draw it out just how they do it. So they're doing like Meika Nuka, 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 May. Just like that. So there's a few other ones that are very similar like that. So the one we're doing today is May. And May in Japanese is I.
Like eyeball?
Like your eyeball. All right, so the next one here is Mo. I can't remember. This one has it has an upward tail. I'm just so used to just writing it out. What is it without making it like super formal? Oh, it's supposed to be out. Yep. So you draw 2 lines and mo.
Mine look like capitalized E's.
You just look like capitalized E's.
With like with one sticky outy bit missing.
Mine, what is it? Every time I draw it, I always think it's like a foreign currency.
Hmm. It looks like that.
I think I just need to make my top side lines like a little smaller and then a little bit more longer. Like
On the bottom.
yeah, so that's a bit more distinct.
So that one is Mo. All right, and let's move on to their next one here. All right, so now we get to do ya, you, and yo. Ya is the line that's kind of at a slight angle, and then you come up and you hook, and then you put a mark
Oh.
up at the very top.
That sounds way too much like the One Piece rap. Yeah, you, yeah, yo.
Like the what is it? The English dubbed, the original English dubbed. The one
Yeah,
that's-
you, yeah, yo.
the one that's just like ear bleedingly bad.
hmm
I think I've only seen the sub. I mean
The One Piece rap is a glorious for kids treasure, I guess.
Well,
It's just one of those things four kids did that was just so funny.
if by treasure you mean you were dumpster diving.
Yeah.
Now the real treasure is the Australian English version of the Card Captor Sakura opening. It was 10 times better than the American one. It's like the English lyrics to the Japanese opening.
Oh, one of those instead of what's it called? The made up stuff.
Like the American one is completely different.
All right, so we're going to move on to you now. So we're going to go 1 and make a basically a V with a very long tail.
And then a line through it, right?
Or someone that's just learning how to create the letter N.
It
So
reminds me of a fish.
Yeah. And then you put a line through it. So it's somebody that cuts fish horribly.
Oh, it's the fins. You don't want to chop the fish. So is the end of the curve, it's supposed to be, stick out the other side.
Yep, just it's supposed to come around and loop. I did that one horribly. Like this, and then a line through. And I'm making mine look horrible for some reason. There we go.
I'm so close to like you can't even see the V on mine.
Yeah, that one's horrible. So this one here is you. All right. And the last one we have here is yo.
I go.
Yeah, you, yeah, yo. I find drawing this little thing here first helps me out a bit more for getting it right.
Which one? Oh, you draw that line first.
Yeah. If I'm not mistaken, you're supposed to do this and then that.
Yeah.
And this one here is yo. All right, so that's ya, you, and yo. And they're going to be very important come the next lesson. So you should know these ones really well.
Okay.
The next one is ra. So this one here is a little flick, and then you come down and make a loop.
Put it at an angle. That makes it look much better. Practicing those without like seeing someone else draw them. And they always look weird on my end. There we go. Yeah, starting at an angle at the top looks much better.
And this one is da. And then after that is D. And this one, so before we did E, and E looked like this, remember? So this one is D, so this one is straight up and down. So how E comes like this and does that, you want to put this one straight up, and then this one hooks down, just like that. So you do hook and down. And you try to make it as straight as possible. And then this one has a curve at the very end. And this one here is D. So down with a small hook. And then there. And then our next one here is do. Oh. So do, if you remember the
Foo.
foo, it's like that, except for there's a little hook at the bottom here, like that. Just like that. This one is do. Just one fluid motion. And if you're trying to get it perfect, you don't want to go through. You want to try and make sure that you stop before you go all the way through. And then next one after this one is day. And day, you start with the line and you do this.
It's new, but with a different end to it, right? Or nay.
It's nay with a different end, yep. So where nay went and when you did nay, you would do this. Like that. This one here, you do the same line and you do this here. But when you get to this point here, you flick it back down, you make a C instead. So just like that. And that would be day.
It's the same stroke you would do for so on the Z part of it.
Yep, except for it's kind of like sideways.
At an angle, yeah.
Yep.
But it's that same stroke motion.
Yep. All right. And the last one is basically do without the loop. And this is do. So instead of making the loop like we did before right here like this one does not have that loop. And usually this line here and this line here match up. And then this one here is elongated out farther.
Oh, okay.
Like that.
It's like the opposite of a 3.
Yep.
On the edges, got it.
So this is do,
Oh, that was better.
and then this one is do. All right. And we're in the home stretch here. Okay. And last one is wa, o, and un. So wa is like day, except for instead of hooking back, you just loop around. So first we did ne, which looked like this. Then we learned day, which looked like that. And now we're going to do wa, which looks like that. So you do one line down, you make a do, but with the do, what you want to do is you want to take and make, turn it at sideways, like you did with the day and the so.
Gotcha.
Draw it here one more time. All right. We got a bunch, about 15 minutes of extra time, so I'm going to move on to some of the stuff that I was going to show you in a different lesson. So, because I know we're going to have at least an extra 10 minutes at the very end.
Sure.
So I'm going to show you a couple points, and then we'll work on some things. Okay, and let's do this one more time for wa. And then the next one is O. And this one is strange because this one here is a marker. It's not necessarily a letter, it's more of a marker. So Japanese has like particle markers that they use for different things inside a sentence, and I'll show you a little bit later like some of the ones that have different ways to pronounce them. So this one we're going to do O right here like this. So this one is done in 3 parts. So you do 1, 2, 3. So it's kind of like a halfway chi, and then a C inside that. So you come here like this, and then put a C inside of it. And it should look like that. And this one is O. And it's a special kind of O. So when we learned O before, we did this one here, and this is O. But this O is part of the alphabet form of O, and this O that we're learning here is a sound marker for the end of a sentence right before a verb. It's kind of like to let you know that the person is saying the verb next.
Huh. That's nice of them.
All right, so this one is O. And then the last one is very simple. Can you draw an H that looks semi-cursive?
I normally do like an N in my brain when I'm looking at those, just
Yep.
so I can also remember the sound it makes.
Yep. So this one here is un. And just so you know, in Japanese, most people have a harder time when you're saying the n sound. Most Japanese people have a harder time distinguishing whether it's an or an n sound.
Oh.
Wait, what are the differences?
So like an M or an N.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
So if you're saying a word that that the N sound doesn't have like another vowel or consonant attached to
Mhm.
it, it it can be confused for either one.
Hmm.
Mm.
So as an example, if you were to say the word like dumb,
Mhm.
some Japanese people might think it's done,
Gotcha.
or vice versa. So this one here is N, and this one looks like A, except without the tail. Do this one more time. And then let me grab some stuff here for you so we can work on some other stuff.
Quick question.
Go ahead.
I was gonna say, I know last week we looked at diacritical marks. Are we gonna go through those again?
Sure, we can go through those ones again here.
'Cause I don't think we did all of them
Mm-hmm.
because we only did, we only did half of the hiragana, so we didn't actually do all of the transformation.
Right.
Right. So with the ones that we were doing here before, there's only
Two, right?
one set of well, there's two sets of diacritics, but it's from one set
Yeah.
of letters here. So there's two different types now, okay? And the Hahihou Hahihou is special because it has two different diacritics. So we're going to do, this was ha, this is ba, and this is pa. So there are two different diacritics that you can use for this here. One is two lines like this, and the other is a small circle.
And pause the only thing that uses that circle, though, yeah?
Yes, that is
Or Poppy
correct.
Poopy, yeah.
Yep. And then Bobby Boobay Bo uses the
Uses the two lines like everything else, yeah.
Yep.
So it goes ga, da, za, ba, pa.
Yeah. That is correct. So, and it's the same with the other ones here. This is he, B, and P.
So only the H series uses the circle.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
So basically, depending on how versed you are in linguistics, the like tachitsuteto is the t sound is the voiceless, and the da sound is the voiced. It's the same with the k sound is voiceless, and the g sound is voiced. So basically, the diacritics is distinguishing between the voice and voiceless, and the diacritic for the ha is, what is it? You have ha is the bass, and then pa is the voiceless, and ba is the voiced.
Yeah.
So that's basically the linguistic breakdown of it.
So what does mami mume mo become something?
No, because it is not a voice and voiceless sound. It's a nasal sound. So the tati tu te to, dadi du de do, with a ka kiku keiko, those are all affricates. meaning that you use both like your tongue and your teeth. What is it on the inside of your mouth to create the sounds? And because the M sound and the N sound are nasal, they don't have a voiced and voiceless.
Yep.
Same with the ra-di-do-de-do. So, but that is high level linguistics there. So I'm going to show you something here, and it is going to be some of the stuff that we just learned here. And all right. So we're going to talk about some exceptions for reading when reading a sentence. Okay? So when you look at this here, you guys know this as ha, correct?
Mm-hmm.
But
Right.
the problem is that when you're reading a sentence, did I just delete that by accident? Here you go. Okay. So the problem is that when you're reading a sentence, when it is a subject marker, it's pronounced wa. So this one here, this character here is watashi, which means I. And then this wa signifies the I as being the subject. And then here is sensei, which is teacher. And then you have des here at the very end, which is used as a hey Jake, how's it going? Des here, which is used at the end, which is like your am, is, are.
Gotcha.
Like that. Okay? So with this wa here, that basically this sentence here is saying I am a teacher. So it's not read as in watashi ha sensei des.
Right.
It is read as watashi
Wa.
wa
Yeah.
sensei des. So it's also the same with the hey character over here. When hey is used as a destination marker,
Mm-hmm.
it means that it's no longer pronounced hey, it's pronounced a.
Okay.
So this here is mak, which is McDonald's. It's the shortened versions of McDonald's. And this is mak e ikimasu. And then this is basically will go, or am going. And then this is like saying Mickey D's. So it's saying I am going to Mickey D's. The subject. So I could put in here, what is it? Watashi wa. Just like over here. Maku e ikimasu. Which is I am going to what is it, Mac? Or I will go to Mac. So in this case here, this is not pronounced hey, it's pronounced a. So
right.
these are exceptions for reading. And this is kind of like when I was explaining O earlier, how this O and this O have the same sound, but
they're used for different things.
This one here is a marker for the end of the sentence right before the verb.
Okay.
And this one here is actually used as an alphabet kind of letter to actually describe words.
Sure.
So, like, you could say, I'll write it down here. Here, let me change this back to black real quick here. When you're making the word like oki, and this word means big,
Mm-hmm.
you would use this O here. You would
Mm-hmm.
never use this O. You would never at any point do this with that O.
Right. Because it's just a word. The
Yeah.
word big.
Right. It's the word big, and it's how you would write it out. But the problem with this is that this one here marks the end of the sentence. It does not mark. It is not like an alphabet letter, if that makes sense.
Right.
Mm.
Well, the other one would be used to like you're saying, you would put it before a verb and at the end of a sentence. You said.
Yep. So verbs always come at the end of the sentence. So
So
technically,
like,
right?
go ahead. Yeah. Sorry.
Okay. No problem. Technically, this des is the verb at the end of this sentence.
Mm-hmm.
This mas, or this ikimas, is the verb at the end of the sentence.
Okay.
So as an example, I'll do eat in Japanese is ta be do. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
So if I said sushi, all right, let me erase this real quick here.
Gotcha. So you're gonna do I'll eat eat sushi. I guess
Yeah.
it's not quite the sentence, but
yeah.
yeah.
I'm eating sushi, or I will eat sushi. So it would be sushi o ta be do. So this taberu here is the verb at the very end of the sentence, and this is
Mhm.
this is the Japanese period here.
Right.
And then this here is the marker that the sentence is ending.
Gotcha. Okay.
So
We'll get more into that when we get more to talking and reading later.
Oh yeah.
For sure.
So like there are a few other ones, like ni will be used as one, mo will be used as one, day will be used as one as well. So all of these here are going to be markers in the sentence meaning different things. So
Gotcha.
ni is used for time, and ni and a are interchangeable, so you can use either one of them here. Like this, I'm just giving quick examples. Mo is used for saying also. So like if you're saying I want to go to McDonald's, and you say I also want to go to McDonald's, you would use mo instead of wa.
Gotcha.
Day is a destination marker in the sense of a stationary place, and this destination marker here for a means like movement.
Right.
And then
cool.
this one here is just marking the end of a sentence with a verb.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that's going to wrap us up for today, but we'll go over this again. What is it the next time too? But I thought I'd show this to you at the same time, so that when it comes to reading sentences, or if you try to like look at stuff ahead, or you're trying to look at and reference your own material, you can see that there's possibly a difference between the character as part of its alphabet, as part of the hiragana system, and how it's different compared to how it works in sentence structure.
Okay.
All right.
I feel like I'm gonna get that wrong for a while.
Hey, and you want to know something? I did for almost a year. So I'm not going to lie. This may sound bad. This may be something bad to say in the live stream. When I was studying Japanese, out of the 25 people in the class, I was third from the bottom, grade-wise. The other thing was I was working 40-hour weeks and taking, 18 credits a semester, which didn't help much. But I had some of the lower grades in the class, and it wasn't until almost second year where I could start to get a grip and get a handle on this. So, but it's now 4 years of Japanese language in university, and I'm going on my 9th year here in Japan. So, I think I've got a little bit of a hang on it now. But we're gonna stop here for tonight. So I'd like to thank everybody in chat, and I'd like to thank Lavitz and I Am Nice, and we will see you next week for the next Japanese class. And for the next Japanese class, I'm going to do the same thing I did before, where I'm going to choose 8 of the hiragana that we learned today, and I'm going to quiz you on those next time as well. So be sure to study and be ready for that. Okay? Well, I will talk to you guys all later. Take care, and bye-bye.